I'm Michelle,
And I'm Ronald,
and this is Talking Squirrels.
the middle school ministry podcast. As we were talking just a moment ago, I am so tired right now. It's ridiculous.
It's real.
Well, the funny thing is, like, normally you can say, like, I'm tired because ministry things, or it's a busy season. I'm tired because of Netflix at the moment.
What was the poison?
Well, see, the thing is, I don't watch a ton of Netflix, myself. And so, like, it's mostly if my wife turns on Netflix, I'm like, oh, all right, I'm in. I'll watch this thing.
Amazing.
And so she was working late last night, got home late, and I'm in bed. I'm thinking, all right, this is fine. She opens up her computer and finishes what she was watching, and then start another episode, and we just kind of watch
Yes.
an entire episode of Sugar Rush Christmas Edition. And so I have all the like baking stuff in my head right now.
You know it's Christmas when it's Sugar Rush time.
Honestly, Sugar Rush is a good baking show, but it's no Great British Bake Off.
I go back and forth on that show.
Great British Bake Off?
Yeah, we tried one episode and I was like, I don't think I like it.
See, my wife and I watch it and we just goof off. We just think it's fun.
Do you laugh at the people?
Yes. And as like, I forget when they started, like 2012 or whatever. So they have a couple seasons of it. And then like, as the show goes on, they just like get more and more innuendo and crazy. It's funny.
Hilarious. Maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see.
We enjoy that. And then we watch all the other reality things like, hey, interior decorating and all this stuff. So like,
that's like our secret obsession.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it.
I'm a fan. And so, but the thing is, we would do this before, like we would watch a movie and my wife would go to sleep and then I would be up watching the movie. I'm like, why am I still watching this? I need to go to sleep. So like, she's the one who can fall asleep to an audiobook or a screen going or something like that. And I'm always enthralled with whatever's happening.
I can fall asleep in anything.
If there's a screen going, I'm a zombie. I'm attached to it.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, I'm super tired because of Netflix today.
But here's the real thing. Did you guys do Disney Plus?
No, we have not done Disney Plus. And you know why?
Why?
And this is me resigning. Becca is not a Star Wars person.
It's more than just Star Wars.
It totally is, but all I want to do is watch The Mandalorian.
It's lovely.
You know, we haven't done that yet. And so I don't know if it's going to be a season for us before we get there because we're both super busy right now.
Totally.
Which, it's funny, I'm saying that as we watched an episode of Sugar Rush last night, which is not exactly like classic television. But I don't know.
I feel like the cooking shows have become like the normal.
I mean, they're good, but it was definitely not the rest I needed after this crazy Echo Weekend D-Now retreat we had 2 weeks ago.
This is true.
Man,
no, it looked insane.
I'm really glad because we were trying to make it epic. So our theme this year was Kai, which is why we had the X, but there was also another element of that, which was 10th year they had done Echo Weekend this way.
Oh.
I've been here
at that church specifically?
Yeah. And so I've been here for 6 years. And it was really cool to be like, hey, this is the 10th year of doing this particular retreat. And it was a blast, man. We had a great time.
Yeah, I loved seeing all the photos pop up. And it was so fun. Like seeing how excited even the students were.
Oh, some of my students, like especially, just get absolutely insane for this weekend. They love it. You know, a lot of the middle school students, it's their first retreat. You know, it's their first kind of experience with student ministry. And so it's really cool and a really big deal.
So what do you think kids were most excited about? What were the students like?
Well, some of it was just the fact that they get to spend the night for the first time. You know, I mean, we've got a really conservative group. So some of them legitimately are spending the night at somebody's house for the first time, especially like a lot of my 6th graders.
That's so wild.
It's not just one friend. It's like 8 friends.
Right.
And so like
this is the best night of their life.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going around to some of their houses and like they are having a blast because their host home has like 80 Nerf guns. And so they're just all these 6th grade boys are just going nuts with their Nerf guns and all this stuff. It's insane. Absolutely.
Ugh, I see the host homes, like, I love that. And what a blessing to have those people who are like, "Yeah, I'll take 8 middle school boys."
Oh, we have really, really gracious host homes, that, open up their houses, and it's not just, like, 8, like, we had one group where there was 19 girls.
In one home?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and they all slept in the same bedroom.
That's a lot
Yeah,
in
yeah,
one place.
yeah. So, like I said, we've got some really gracious, host homes, and they know what they're signing up for when we tell them, like, "Hey, some of y'all might have 10, some of you might have,
19.
15 or more." So, yeah,
That's amazing.
it's crazy, but the students loved it. I got feedback from leaders, which was great. We did a lot of new things this year. Like we had in the past, like a Friday night worship session.
Oh, fun.
We skipped that,
Oh,
and
interesting.
we didn't do the Friday night. Instead, we started it on Wednesday night.
That's
So
right, you guys did start early.
yeah, so we had like a Wednesday night instead of doing our normal youth group stuff. We did Wednesday night kickoff, and that was a blast. So like we had everybody combined, high school, middle school, and our other campus all in one room, which was really exciting. Like the energy was there.
And that was for kids who didn't sign up as well, right?
Exactly. And so we
Which
want
is
them
I love that. I think students who don't get a chance to come, like, you still get to feel a part of it.
yeah, because I mean, like in my context, again, we've got some parents who are like, I'm not ready for my sixth grade student to spend the night someplace. So
Right.
if we do this Wednesday night thing, which we did, it gave them a chance to be a part. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
And you got, like, a little preview, right? For
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, I mean, worship with, the band and then the speaker and some games and all this kind of stuff. So that was a blast. And then everybody went directly to host homes on Friday night, which was
nice.
different than what we've done before. Um,
So that's really kinda like where it all started was you go to your host home?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so everybody goes to the host home, which was cool. And then, so we normally, since we have that Friday night worship in the past, we would
Mhm.
normally not get to visit host homes until like 10 p.m. on that first night.
Oh, dang.
So it was really cool to get to go to some host homes at like 6:30, 7, be like, oh, this is awesome. And so,
And actually, like, see them, like, not crazy and not super
mm,
tired yet.
yeah, yeah. And so kind of got some more relationship time with the students and their leaders, which was
Yeah.
really beneficial.
That's
So
really cool.
that worked out really well. Um, then we had we if you ever do a retreat like where you stay in town,
Mhm.
normally on like a Saturday, you have to fill a big time gap.
Right.
And I mean, on Saturday they do 2 Bible studies in the morning, and they did like we have Saturday night, we have another worship session, but then there's like some afternoon activity time.
So good.
And
What do you
so
do?
well, in the past we've gone bowling, or we went to the go-kart place, or last year we went downtown and we did a scavenger hunt.
Oh,
Uh,
fun.
and so those were great. Well, this year we just we had a ton of inflatables in the parking lot,
Oh, yeah.
and then some like, some board games out on picnic tables, and like a big hamster ball and a whole bunch of stuff like that.
So fun.
Like maybe 80% of the students were there for it. Like they loved it. They had a blast. They had fun. But we had some very vocal critics who were like, what are we supposed to do? We're bored,
Like true middle schoolers.
Oh man. And so, yeah. And then we had our fun little incident, uh, happen that you never find out about the things until afterwards.
Oh, always.
Apparently some sixth grade boy was running around yelling, watch out, somebody's taking pictures of people's butts.
Which
And
I think is hilarious, by the way.
oh gosh. And so we don't know if there was actually a kid taking pictures of people's butts, but B, a mom heard from her daughter that was said and was offended. And so had to email back and forth a couple times about that fun experience. And it's totally just like sixth grade middle school boy thing to do, right? That's cool.
Absolutely. Like, that's any middle school,
So, but we
like,
had
boy
to,
thing, like, talking about
yeah.
butts, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. And so we had to be like, it's okay, mom, I understand your concern. A leader heard the guy say that and then told him, hey, cut it out, which is exactly what everybody would do. Just be like, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then like hide your face as you chuckle at the kid. Like,
exactly. Because how can you not laugh at that when they're just running around?
I know. And so, yeah. But
But
then we
obviously, yeah, like, you wanna respect the parent.
yeah, yeah, and we
Even
did.
though it's like, why are you offended?"
Mhm,
I
and so
understand, but
yeah, so we took care of that situation. That's been fun going back and forth. But then we had our Saturday night worship session, which we've done before, and then we did like a little prayer experience afterwards with prayer
Ooh.
stations. Um, that was fun, but because we had the amount of kids that we did, like I've done it for my middle school group before,
Mhm.
and it worked fine.
The prayer stations?
Just because of the amount of students that we had and trying to kind of get them out back to their host homes, it took a long time, but it was still it was a good experience, but it took longer than we anticipated. So we might tweak that next year if
Nice.
we do that again. And then Sunday morning is like recap day. Everybody shows up to the church, brings all their luggage, get picked up by parents, but like that's when our large group happens. And so we just recap the weekend. And so again, that's the student who couldn't sign up but is there for Sunday morning. They get another little taste, which is cool.
Right. Love that.
Yeah. So all in all, I mean, it's a really fantastic retreat um, that you get to do in town that doesn't cost, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg because you're using, more than likely your own facilities, you're doing host homes.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, we had a great time.
What do you think for you was a big win?
Hmm. For me, like in previous times, we would always do like when I did a D now, my churches would bring in college students to be the Bible study leaders. And so
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, "Oh, I get to meet new college kids," which is fun. You get to meet
Feels
new
super
people.
popular.
Yeah, people who are believers and all this stuff. So that's really cool. But for us, our big win is it's the small group leaders who we say and challenge, y'all be the leaders during the weekend.
Yeah.
And so just to watch them have that relationship building with their students is really cool. And that's a really great thing. And then this last Sunday, we actually had a leader lunch, like an appreciation lunch for all of our small group leaders,
Oh, fun.
all student ministry, so high school, middle school, and our other campus. And it
Nice.
was cool to see the leaders who met each other at the retreat and like led a group together.
Oh,
Like
that's awesome.
they were like, "Oh, hey, Keith, hey, Casey, what's going on? Good seeing you again." Like their connections,
Right. 'Cause
that they
were there,
made.
like, multiple groups at, like, a same house?
Yeah, well, what we're still doing right now is our other campus, they don't have their own houses. We throw them in. So if they're a seventh grade girl, they're just going to go to the seventh grade girl house, no matter what campus they're in.
Oh, yeah, we do very similar. We're basically the same.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, we combine some leaders around and things like that, but
Great.
then the leaders get to make new friendships, the students get to make new friendships, and that's always really cool to kinda watch that happen.
Totally. And they feel like you're like, "Oh, yeah, you're in this too."
Yeah. So,
Right.
it was a big win, kinda that moment where you say, "Hey, we're a student ministry with 3 different arms, but really we're one big church." And so
Yeah.
that was cool to see. That was cool to watch.
I love that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are out there in podcast land and listening to this podcast, and you do some type of similar uh, in-town retreat, let us know what some wins are for you. What have you done that has been fantastic? What have you done that you would probably never do again? I don't know if we had a never do. No, actually,
I
we
said,
did
did
have.
you guys have one?
We did, and so we in the past we would bring in a speaker,
Mm,
and we've kind of stopped doing that for this retreat and just been using us like the student pastors,
nice.
which has been fine. But when we were bringing a speaker, we had the two worship sessions, like the Friday and the Saturday night, and then we were trying to kind of like justify the cost of bringing in the speaker.
Yeah.
So we had a Saturday morning uh, Facebook Live kind of challenge devotional,
Oh.
and that was good when we were trying to justify a speaker. But this year, everybody was like, "Yeah, we don't need that part anymore." And so like with some leaders and students kind of be like, we didn't understand the purpose. It was kind of weird. We're like, oh, okay, so maybe the Facebook Live thing can go away. That'd be all right.
Yeah. I love that you took their advice though, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't really like it." And we're like, "Well, we were all questioning it anyways,
Yeah, and so it's
so
yeah,
let's save money all around."
I think that's gonna go away, and that'll be all right.
Oh yeah, totally. Do what is best for your context, right?
Yeah, and so I always wanted to make that like another part of the weekend where again a student who's not signed up can still be there and be a part,
Yeah,
but it just wasn't didn't connect, didn't happen. So I think it's going to get canned, and we'll move on.
and that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that was our weekend. It was great. I love it, and it's always really cool to kind of watch how middle school ministry continues to grow through retreats and things like that.
Yeah, it's so key.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody, to us kind of debrief our Echo weekend to Disciple Now. And so, hey, if you've got any questions or anything like that, hit us up, let us know, and do us a big favor. It's always a lot of fun if you can review us on Apple iTunes. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.